Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Ayushi Aggarwal. I'm currently in my third year of BTech degree in Computer Science and Business Systems at Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore. Would you please tell me
Okay.
something about yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Deepti Achanta. I look after human resources for a company called Ion Trading India Private Limited. And my role is basically, heading up human resources function for the company in India. And in addition to that, I also I'm also responsible for the shared services team for the company, which is a global team. And we take care of a few processes globally out of India. We've set up the shared services team in India. And some processes globally are being done, HR processes are being taken care of globally by the shared services team. So I have a dual role. I take care of regional HR for India, as well as I head up the shared services team. And in terms of a little bit of background about myself, so I started my career in 92. I did my MBA from IMT Ghaziabad and have been working since 92, worked in companies like TCS, Electrolux, CMC, then IT industry, a few companies like Intrasphere, Reval, and now Ion. So I've basically worked in all facets of human resources, whether it is talent acquisition or strategic partnering with business or talent management, training and development, almost all facets of HR.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I would really love to know more about human resource management and how does it work in the companies. So I'll start by asking you what are your thoughts about strategic HR and how does your company practices strategic HR?
So, I would really not, say separately something about strategic HR. So HR is a holistic function which takes care of various aspects in an employee's life cycle from the time they join the company till the time they exit the company. So, whether it is their hiring, onboarding, training them, preparing them, if they are freshers from the college, then, preparing them for the corporate world, ensuring that, we are providing them the right training environment, etc., to be able to succeed in the corporate world. And those who already have experience, ensuring that we are providing them the right inputs and training continuously going forward. Plus also taking care of certain basic operations, like, if people have joined the company, then they need to be paid on time. So ensuring that, payroll is processed in the right way, any changes in payroll are processed in the correct way, because typically in organizations, payroll is handled by finance or the payroll team, but the inputs for the same go from HR to them, right? So if there is a new hire, if there is a leaver in the company, or if there is any change in the salary of employees, then all that data and input every month goes from HR to payroll. So ensuring that that data is going accurately to payroll. Then managing the entire performance management system of the company, right? So most organizations have a performance management system where a process which captures feedback from managers, from other peers, collaborators that you worked with during the year, and shares it back with the employee for various purposes, for developmental purposes, for growth purposes, for ensuring that they are on the right track. And also goal setting for the year, that, in the new year, which is, what are your goals? What are you going to work on? How are you doing against those goals? An assessment of your performance. And ultimately, any salary increases and bonuses are based on how you've performed during a year, right? So the HR, in HR, we typically manage that entire performance management process. Then also managing the compensation process, right? So every year there are hikes and bonuses that are given to people. So ensuring that is happening in a systematic manner, in a fair and a consistent manner in the company. If there is a promotion process, then ensuring that process is happening in a fair and consistent manner across the company. Then, administering the benefits, any benefits that are there for the employees in the company, whether they are health-related benefits or any other insurances like, life insurance, accident insurance. So HR typically takes up the ownership to ensure that those policies are in place, get those policies renewed every year, and then administer those policies on a day-to-day basis for employees who need them. So that's another role. So these are all the various, and then learning and development is a constant role, right? So ensuring that people have the right skills for the jobs that they are doing. If they need any upskilling, if they need any training further in any areas, whether it is technical, functional, behavioral, then working with the teams, with the managers to find out what are the needs, and then providing them a platform so that they can further grow and further upskill themselves in those areas. So that's another area which HR takes care of. HR also takes care of reporting. So anything related to employee data. So employee data is something which HR owns, right? And a lot of reports are created from this employee data regularly for management to be able to take decisions, right? Things like headcount report, attrition report, what's the headcount, what's the attrition levels, what are the reasons for attrition, can we do anything to control attrition, how can we control attrition? So if we know the reasons, if we have the data, then the right decisions can be taken by management. So providing the reports to management on time so that they can take decisions which will help business. Basically, see the idea, what is HR there for in an organization? So HR is there to support business. HR is not a business function directly, but the role of HR is to support business to be able to succeed. And support them how? So we don't support them on technology, we don't support them on equipment, we don't support them on their business processes, but where do we support them? We support them for all processes that are related to people, right? So, and then also advising a business for any employee relations issues. So if there are any, there are from time to time people have issues or concerns. Sometimes it could escalate to become a big employee relations issue. So ensuring that we work hand in hand with the business, with the managers to advise them on such issues, to take them through any handholding that they need to be able to address and solve these issues. Also ensuring all legal aspects are covered, any compliance, so any employment law related compliances that are required by a company, right? So like, for example, prevention of sexual harassment, that's a law, right, in the country. So HR has to ensure that there is a policy in place which is being administered. If there is a mechanism in place, there is a committee in place, which if there is any case reported, then there is a proper mechanism in place where people can go, they can report, and then a due diligence is done, investigation is done, and a resolution is provided to the employee. So HR is responsible for all these plus many more aspects in the business. And when we say strategic HR, we basically mean that HR is working hand in hand with the business, and HR is not a standalone function and doing certain things just because, HR loves to do it, right? So the reason it's done is because it is enabling business, right? Our job is to enable business. Our job is to provide that, the level of expertise, comfort, and, a go-to person in HR on whom business can rely on to solve any people-related issues, problems, basic processes. All people-related processes should be in place so that business can focus on business, right? So that is what strategic, in my view, that's what strategic HR is. That strategic HR is when HR works as a partner with the business, and they are in partnership on decisions like which impact the organization, related to how should we be hiring, how should we be retaining, how should we be developing our people, what kind of processes do we want to create. So all these are areas where if HR is in partnership with the business, then I think we have a strategic role, because we are enabling the business to achieve their strategic objectives, their business objectives, by being able to provide them, they can close their eyes and say that, okay, if there's anything related to people, the HR team will take care of it. We don't have to worry. So, and also enabling business managers to be effective with their people. So everything HR doesn't take care of, we enable managers so that they can be good managers, right? We can't be the managers for them. We have to ensure that we enable them, we provide them the skills. So if somebody becomes a new manager, or somebody is not a very good manager, then ensuring we are working with them, coaching them, training them to become good managers. Because, for every small thing that happens in a team related to people, HR can't step in, managers have to handle. So managers need to have also enabling managers so that they have the skills to on a day-to-day basis to be good HR people themselves. Managers need to be good HR people for their people. So for every little thing, they cannot reach to HR and say, please take care of this problem for me. So that's another role we have, where we have to ensure that we, being in HR, work very closely with business, with managers, with leaders to coach them, work with them, talk to them constantly to make sure that they are becoming good managers. Right?
Thank you, ma'am. So we'll go to the next question. Like you talked about recruitments in the first part. So how is the recruitment process carried out in Ion Trading Company? In your
Okay,
company?
so so for recruiting, we have, there is every year there is a kind of plan which is made, a business plan which is made, and then a headcount requirement which is decided for the year, that these many people across different divisions based on the business needs, right? That based on the business plan, how many more people do you need to hire across different divisions? And based on those plans, then the hiring process begins. There is a talent acquisition team which is separate in Ion from HR team, and that team is responsible for hiring. We hire through various means. We hire a lot through internal referrals. We have a very good internal referral policy. So that's one source of hiring. Then we also hire internally through Naukri and LinkedIn and all these platforms. And plus there are certain positions, especially I would say globally in other countries, we also use recruiting companies or agencies, not in India so much. In India, mostly we do our hiring through either referrals or Naukri and LinkedIn and these platforms internally ourselves. And we don't use that many agencies or hiring agencies, but globally in other countries we do. And the process is we use a platform called Lever, which is basically an applicant tracking system. And then the whole process is done, where any resumes which come in, which are sourced through the hiring team or referred by internal employees, they are taken through the entire interview process. Interview process will be several rounds of technical interviews, then an executive round, leadership round, HR round, and then those who qualify are given the offers. Once they are given the offers, then salary negotiations happen, and then they are brought on board. Once they are brought on board, then the induction happens, and then that's the journey.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So next question is, how do you monitor the performance of the employees to train them for to upskill their upskill the existing employees? Yeah.
Right. So we have a process which is our performance management process. It starts basically with objective setting. And we have a platform, internal, I would say, employee portal called Connection, where people can go and add their objectives. They have a profile created. Every person can go and add their objectives for the year in consultation with their managers. And then through the year, they can keep adding objectives. They can keep reviewing against completed objectives. All that gets recorded on the platform. And then at the end of the year, there is a year-end review which happens. And in the year-end review, the managers give feedback to the employee for the entire year, their performance through the year, how they have done against all the objectives that were set for them. How has the performance been? Detailed feedback is provided, ratings are provided. And the feedback doesn't come just from the managers. It's a 360 process where feedback is also given by other peers that you worked closely with. We call them collaborators. So collaborators and even stakeholders. So, when you're working in an organization, you're not necessarily always working just for your manager, but there could be very senior stakeholders that you're working for, right? So those stakeholders also provide you feedback. And all this feedback is consolidated on the basis of which your final ratings are decided. And that's a yearly process at the end of the year. So for us in Ion, objective setting and reviewing against objectives is a continuous process throughout the year. People can do it any time of the year. It's not a point in time activity that you're required to do it in January or December or August. It's open through the year because people are working on objectives through the year. Objectives can be changing, new objectives can get added. So you can do that anytime in the year. And then at the end of the year-end review is completed.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So the last question is, what are the various employee welfare activities that your company carries out?
So there's a lot. So there's, in terms of benefits we have, first of all, we've got a very nice health insurance policy for our employees. During the COVID times, we also introduced an additional insurance policy, which was meant specifically for COVID, because in the health insurance policy, usually only hospitalization is covered. Home treatment is not covered. So we saw that during COVID, a lot of people were recovering at home. They were not being hospitalized. So we took one more policy for our people, which was for COVID, only for COVID. And it was for home treatment and any expenses that you are incurring at home. So that's something we added. We also have a personal accident policy for employees where people are covered in case they have an accident. They're covered for up to a certain amount of the salary. And then we have a life insurance policy which covers in the case of death. So these are some of the benefits that we provide to our people. We also have, during the COVID times, we included a 24/7 doctors consultation program, which is MediBuddy. So we provided that platform to our people free of cost, where we are paying the money to MediBuddy, and employees can consult doctors of all kinds of specialties 24/7, not just for themselves, but for their family members also, for their parents, for their spouse, for their children, etc. So that's another thing we've provided. We also, during COVID, we purchased a few oxygen cylinders and concentrators, and we ensured that people who needed them, we were providing that to them. And from time to time, based on the need and whatever is required, we keep having different kinds of, we organized a vaccination drive for our people when vaccinations were scarce, right? Now vaccinations are available everywhere, but when they were scarce, we organized a drive for all our employees in office. They came and they took the vaccine. That was free of cost. So all various kinds of things. Then we also, in offices, we provide food at kind of subsidized cost to our employees. And we ensure that we have cabs from metro stations to office to metro stations for morning pickup, evening drop back to the metro station. This is a free of cost service that is being provided to the employees for their convenience. So various kinds of welfare measures, I would say. We have lots of events during the year to celebrate various festivals and stuff like that, Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really nice talking to you. And your answers were really insightful today. Yeah.
Okay, great. I hope you got all your answers. If there's anything else, I'm happy to talk to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really
helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. All the best to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to end the meeting now.
Yeah. Thank you.